Crosby scores goal 600 of his career against the hockey club, Utah Hockey Club. But now he faces a team in the Vancouver Canucks who beat him last time around when they played in Vancouver back in October. Do the Penguins have an answer this time around inside of PPG Paints Arena? Let's find out when we talk Canucks and Penguins right now on Penguins postgame. Let's do it. You're locked in to Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins play here on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Hey, shoot, he scores! The bingo game is ready to roll. Welcome to Penguins postgame. PPG for PGH. And you'd have to be here to believe it. Here is your host, Scott McGregor. What's going on, everybody? Happy American Thanksgiving to our American fans or listeners here in Pittsburgh and across the world of America. America, specifically Penguins fans, and those who are Canada fans of the Vancouver Canucks. Welcome in to the final 2024-2025 edition of Penguins postgame. Penguins and the Canucks. The Penguins looking to avoid a sweep in the season series against the Vancouver Canucks. But not only that, they're looking to get a bounce back from a couple of losses, and tonight they did exactly that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Penguins Postgame here on Sports for Beginners, and of course on the ice and behind the benches every Wednesday off day the Penguins have this season. Happy Thanksgiving, as I said off the top, to our American listeners, including those of you in Pittsburgh. And happy holidays to everyone else, especially those who celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, you name it. Of course, that is coming up in December, which is next month. 2 months into the season, as the next time I talk to you, we will be talking about the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins. A quick thing to note here as we get into our opening of the program here, talking about the head coaches for the Penguins and the starting goaltenders for the Penguins and the Canucks. Head coaches for the Penguins and the Canucks, as well as the goaltenders. Quick thing to note on the Boston Bruins note. The Boston Bruins are no longer head coached by Jim Montgomery. They fired him So they have a new head coach that the Penguins will see on Friday night in TD Garden. And speaking of the Boston Bruins, the Bruins were also in action tonight, just like they were in action against Jake DeBrusk and the Vancouver Canucks. And for the Bruins and the Canucks, it's also a back-to-back that I guess you could say they split because the Canucks shut them out last night. And tonight, the Penguins defeat the Canucks. And meanwhile, on the Bruins side, the Bruins pick up a dub against the Islanders. But that's all under the bridge right now. Let's talk about the Penguins and the Canucks in the second and final meeting of the 2024-2025 season. And we're starting with our head coaches, as always, and moving right to between the pipes before we break down the game in the next segment. And we're going to do it with our scorers first, then our penalties, our penalty takers. And following the penalty takers, we'll get into the game stats of shots on goal. Not by period, but we'll do by total. And the rest of the game shots, as well as our shake of the game, 3 stars of the game, and so much more, all coming up, leading into us getting ready for the Boston Bruins and the next of the Penguins back-to-back, which will be in Pittsburgh when they host the Calgary Flames on Saturday night, on Hockey Night in Canada. More on that over the course of the show. All right, let's do this so we don't forget. Rick Tocchet and Mike Sullivan are the head coaches for Vancouver and Pittsburgh. Rick Tocchet and Mike Sullivan, head coach for the Penguins and the Canucks. The Canucks are head coached by Rick Tocchet, and Mike Sullivan is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Tonight, Mike Sullivan would go to Tristan Jarry. Jarry would get the start against Vancouver tonight. Last time the Penguins played the Canucks, Alex Nedeljkovic got the start. And the backup to Nedeljkovic was the rookie goaltender, Joel Blomqvist. This time, Nedeljkovic is the backup to Tristan Jarry, who would face off against, you'd like to think it would be Kevin Lankinen, who got the start for Vancouver in the game on Saturday, October 26th in Vancouver. But instead, it's Artis, it's AS. Yeah, we'll go with AS. So it's 31 versus 35 this time around. And it's Tristan Jarry versus AS with Kevin Lankinen and Alex Nedeljkovic in at the backup. Nedeljkovic and Lankinen in at the backup, but Lankinen is in as a backup after starting that game against Boston on Tuesday night. Alrighty, Let's take a break. When we come back, it's time for the scorers, those that scored in this game of the Penguins and the Canucks down at PPG Paints Arena, the site of a Thanksgiving Eve showdown and the debut of Philip Tomasino, who was recently acquired in a trade with Nashville. More on that another time, but we'll then move over to the penalty takers, the game stats by what the final totals were, followed by the three stars of the game, the shake of the game, and time permitting, as we want to also get into our what's next for the Penguins, what's next for the Canucks. As we take a look at the next 5 games for them, we want to also make sure we have some time for a game puck of the game. So, with that said, after the first break of this program, it's time to talk scorers in this game from the first period to the second period to the third period. After that, we'll talk penalty takers. Of course, after we take a break. And maybe before we take that break and get to the penalty takers, we will surprise you with the 3 stars of the game. One thing for sure that's coming up after this break, those who scored in the game. That's next, when Penguins postgame continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, 2 powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
SienaT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down, nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on SienaT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on SienaT Radio.
Penguins 5, Canucks 4. Penguins 5, Canucks 4 in PPG Paints Arena tonight. And despite the Penguins being outshot in the shot total, which we're going to get to a little later, the Penguins avoid a sweep of the Vancouver Canucks in the season series for 2024-2025. And win on home ice after falling on the road 4-3 back on October 26th, 2024 on a Saturday night in Vancouver. I believe that was a Saturday night. We'll have to double check to make sure. I believe that was indeed a Saturday night. But all kidding aside, here we go with who scored in this game. Well, the Penguins had a couple of guys return to the lineup, and among them, I should say, Blake Lizotte. Blake Lizotte showing what he could do in the game as a member of the Penguins, and he puts in, I should say, the game's first goal of the game, literally 3 minutes and 59 seconds in to the game. As the old 2-9er Phil Borg would say, 1-0 good guys. It's 1-0 Pens over the. It is the Penguins 1 and the Canucks 0. Ryan Shea on the assist. His first of the season. Drew O'Connor also on the assist. His fourth of the season. And it is the third goal of the season. And as a Penguin for Blake Lizotte. AR quickly ties this game up. That's Atu Ratti. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. His second goal of the season. And when we look at it, let's see, has he been in the NHL before? Yes, he has. So that is now his fifth goal of his NHL career. Actually, I should. I think that's right. His first goal of the season came against another team. Maybe that's his fourth goal of the season. Or no, sorry, it's his second goal of the season, fourth of his career. That might make better sense. Okay. Something for me to look at after these games have gone final and everything's been made official. Regardless, that quickly ties the game up at a goal apiece. So we're tied at 1 goal apiece. Max Sasson on the assist, his second assist of the season. That would be Max Sasson. And if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, apologies in advance. We'll just go with MS and A and AR. So AR, his second goal of the season. MS, his second assist of the season. 8 minutes and 52 seconds in. And the game is tied. The Canucks did take a penalty. And just after that penalty was taken, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that was when Blake Lizotte scored after the Penguins were unable to score on the power play. Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, they did score a little bit later on the power play in this period. But the second goal of the night for the Penguins belongs to Rickard Rakell, his 8th goal of the season. And Brian Rust on the assist. Rust had a night today. Rust had a night on the eve of Thanksgiving. Rust had a night. He had a night to remember. Oh, by the way, I want to mention to Penguin fans, because Rust scored tonight, you scored a Thanksgiving treat that I'm sure you'll enjoy. I'm sure you'll enjoy this. I'm sure you'll enjoy this. You get half off Rusty Shakes ahead of the Boston Bruins game on Friday night. I don't get to have a Rusty Shake on Thanksgiving. No, unfortunately not. But you will be able to get your Rusty Shake after Thanksgiving on Friday ahead of the Penguins and the Bruins from TD Garden. That was Rust's first goal of the game, coming at 17 minutes and 41 seconds. Rust's goal made it 4-1 Penguins. But the goal before that, after the Rickard Rakell goal, at 12 minutes and 53 seconds in, which Brian Rust had his 4th assist of the season on, and Marcus Pettersson had his 9th assist of the season on. Brian Rust does score twice in this game, but not until after Kevin Hayes, speaking of returning guys from injuries, or rather guys that have been not in the lineup for a while but were reinstated. Kevin Hayes scores a PPG for PGH. His 4th goal of the season, 4th goal as a Penguin, and original suspects number 71, Evgeny Malkin. Evgeny Malkin picking up assist number 16 on the season, and EK65, Erik Karlsson, picking up assist number 11 of the season, his first of the night, because he would be locking up with Sidney Crosby to score some more assists, I should say. Power play goal by Kevin Hayes at 15 minutes and 14 seconds. Into the first period. And the Penguins are up 3-1 on Vancouver. Brian Rust caps off a 4-goal period for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first, with his first goal of the day, of the night, I should say, because this is a night game, down at PPG Paints Arena. His 6th goal of the season, first goal of the day, of the night, assisted by 87. Sidney Crosby. His 14th assist of the season. Erik Karlsson, second assist of the evening, 12th of the season. So Sid and Erik Karlsson do combine once again in that second period, but they get a nice little goal for Brian Rust's 6th goal of the season. And guess what? They also score themselves for Crosby, his 16th assist of the season. 14th assist of the season for Crosby. 12th assist of the season for Erik Karlsson, but second assist of the night for Karlsson. And Karlsson hit the jackpot. 3 assists on the night, coming off of Brian Rust's second goal of the evening, as we move from the first 20 minutes in a 4-1 lead for Pittsburgh. After 20, that becomes a 4-goal lead for Pittsburgh, as the Penguins go up 5-1 early second period. Brian Rust strikes again. The Rusty Shake strikes again. And if the Penguins scored in the first 3 minutes of the second period, guess what, Penguin fans? You also scored a free Big Mac at your local McDonald's in Pittsburgh. So not only did you get shakes, half off the Milkshake Factory, not only did you get Milkshake Factory shakes for Rusty Shake, for the Rusty Shakes, but you also got a free Big Mac. And even because the Penguins won, you got a 2-for-1 special. The Penguins won the hockey game. Rusty scored 3 minutes in to the second period. And you got yourself a free Big Mac, as well as a free 10-piece Chicken McNugget at your local McDonald's in Pittsburgh. What a night for Brian Rust. What a night for Erik Karlsson. Karlsson has 13 assists on the night. That is what he would finish with. And Sidney Crosby picks up his 15th assist of the season and second assist of the evening, as he and Karlsson combine yet again. They combine yet again for another Rusty goal. In Rust we trust. Rust scores goal number 6 in the first period, his 6th goal of the season, that is. And he scores number 7 of the season, early second period. Priest Suter says, okay, that's enough. And he gets the Canucks on the board with the only goal tallied in the second period by Vancouver. his 7th goal of the season. Quinn Hughes on the assist, his 17th assist of the season. He also picks up his 2nd assist of the season on the next goal in that 3rd period. But we'll get to that in a second. Philip Horner picks up his, we'll go with FH. FH picks up his 8th assist of the season as 13 minutes and 40 seconds in. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, Penguins and Canuck fans, because this game isn't over. Not yet, not by a long shot. Though it certainly seemed that way, the way that the Penguins started the first period. After 40, Penguins on top, 5-2. Into the regulation time period we go. The 3rd period. Quinn Hughes. Well, it didn't take Quinn Hughes long. It certainly didn't take him a minute. 40 seconds in, Quinn Hughes says, okay, down by 3 after 40 minutes. Let me make that down by 2. And he does so. Gives it the Canucks their 3rd goal of the game and his only goal of the game, which is his 5th goal of the season. Elias Pettersson on the assist, his 10th of the season, his 10th assist of the season. 40 seconds in to the 3rd period. It's now 5-3 Pittsburgh. And then Elias Pettersson says, you know what? We may not win this game, but we need 2. We need 2 goals. Let me try to get us within 1, and he does so with his 7th goal of the season. Quinn Hughes picks up his 2nd assist of the night, his 18th of the season. And Connor Garland picks up assist number 12 of the season for him. Connor Garland gets in on the action. But was he really not out of the action? The penalty taker's coming right up after we take our next break, I should say. Which we're going to do so now. So we're going to get to the penalty takers, and given our time, we are going to get into just the shake of the game for this show. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the game puck of the game, but we'll do the 3 stars of the game after the penalty takers, and then we'll get right down to the game stats of the game. So don't you go anywhere. Maybe, just maybe, we will get into the game puck of the game before we bring you the next 5 for the Penguins and next 5 for the Canucks. That all still to come when Penguins postgame continues in just a moment. Stay with us. Hi, everyone. Scott McGregor here. Oh, what's that? What's that? Do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Come out and join us for the Season 3 Sports for Beginners Christmas Party Finale this December on Sports for Beginners. We'll talk about everything from our top 10 episodes, our podcast wrap up, a little bit of sports talk mixed in. Plus, I would love to know what your favorite holiday traditions are. So come on out and join us. Come on out and join us. Actually, better than that, come spend the holidays with us here on Sports for Beginners. It's certainly going to be a great show. That's Sports for Beginners Season 3 Finale Christmas Party Extravaganza coming this December on Sports for Beginners. It will be a pre-recorded program, so make sure you tune in. And if you'd like to be involved, send an email to sportsforbeginners podcast8231@gmail.com. Happy holidays, everybody! From all of us here at Sports for Beginners.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Penguins 5, Canucks 4. That was an edge of my seat or edge of your seat game between the Pens and the Canucks. Between the Pens and the Canucks. Tonight. It's time now for the penalty takers. So let's jump into the first period. And the Canucks took the game's only penalties in that period, I should say. First up, Tyler Myers goes 2 minutes for interference. 1 minute and 21 seconds into the game. 1 minute and 21 seconds into the game. And as I mentioned earlier, Blake Lazot's goal did not come until after the penalty expired. So the Canucks able to kill off the first penalty they take. But then AR goes to the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalty, 13 minutes and 34 seconds in. This is when Kevin Hayes gets the Penguins on the board on the penalty kill. Sorry, not penalty kill. Power play. It was the penalty kill for the Canucks, the second penalty they have to kill. They were perfect until Kevin Hayes scored for the Penguins on the power play. At this point, the Penguins are up 3-1 on the Canucks. No penalties to speak of in the middle frame in the second period. So off we go to the third period. And penalties to speak of in the third period. The first one went to Jack St. Ivany of the Pittsburgh Penguins. 2 minutes for hooking at 2 minutes and 3 seconds in to the third period. Penguins kill off that penalty, the only penalty they would take in the game. So they're perfect on the penalty kill. 1-for-1 tonight at the end of the game. They go 1-for-2 on the let me make sure. Yes, they do go 1-for-2 at the time of the Jack St. Ivany penalty. They were 1-for-2, I should say, on the power play. But they are perfect 1-for-1 on the penalty kill. Connor Garland. We mentioned Garland. Connor Garland goes to the box later in the third period. 2 minutes for hooking. 11 minutes and 59 seconds in. So right at that 12-minute mark in the third period of the game is when the Garland penalty took place. And then AR took a 2-minute minor for interference. 15 minutes and 16 seconds in. But the Canucks kill off those penalties. So the final total for Penguins power play is 1-for-4 on the evening. The Vancouver Canucks kill off 3 of the 4 penalties they take in this game. So they go 3-for-4 on the penalty kill. Their power play 0-for-1. And the Penguins power play, perfect. Sorry, penalty kill, perfect. 1-for-1. And I guess both sides were doing a really nice job staying out of the penalty box in that second period. No penalties were called in the second period. So really nice job by both squads. All right. Let's jump to the 3 stars of the game. And here you have your 3 stars of the game. And we'll round it out we'll round out the penalty takers with our 3 stars of the game so that we have some time here to take a quick timeout, get into the action with our shake of the game, and do the game stats. So without further ado, I also want to get our play of the game in. So we're going to round out this segment with the 3 stars of the game and my play of the game. And then on the other side, we'll do the game stats, the shake of the game, take one final break. It'll be 30 seconds. We'll wrap it up with what's next for the Penguins, what's next for the Canucks. One thing we know for sure, they won't see each other for the rest of the season. The Penguins and the Canucks will not see each other for the rest of the season. So their season series ends in a tie at 1-1, with both teams winning on home ice once. And with that, let's get down to it. Your third star tonight, Penguin defenseman, number 65, Erik Karlsson. 3 points, 3 assists, no goals. 3 points for Erik Karlsson. 3 assists, no goals. Your second star, also with 3 points in the game. 2 assists, 1 goal. And as I said, 3 points in the game. It's defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks, number 43, Quinn Hughes. And for the first star of the game, it's number 17, the Rusty Razor, Penguins right winger, number 17, Bryan Rust. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. Everybody on the 3 stars had 3 points in this game. They are Bryan Rust, Quinn Hughes, and Erik Karlsson. And that brings me to my play of the game to round out this segment. And I'm going to tell you right now. It was the power play goal by Kevin Hayes that was good enough for my play of the game. Really like that setup by Erik Karlsson. I'm not too fond of the pass by Evgeny Malkin. Really thought it could have been set up a little bit better. But hey, a goal's a goal. And speaking of a goal being a goal, Kevin Hayes' goal is my play of the game. But if you have a different play of the game, a different look at the 3 stars of the game, let us know in Penguins post-game show interactions down in our Discord server, or by sending an email. The same thing applies for the game puck of the game, and the game puck of the game, and the shake of the game. Or you can do this by sending an email to, if you don't want to do the Discord server or don't have Discord, go on over to our email address, sportsforbegin8231@gmail.com. A 2-point party on 5th Avenue, as Josh Getzoff would say. A 2-point party on 5th Avenue on the eve of American Thanksgiving. Back to wrap it up with the shake of the game stats. And what's next for the Canucks? What's next for the Penguins? As I said before, we know one thing that ain't next. they won't see each other the rest of the year. So the Penguins and the Canucks will not see each other for the rest of the season. But what's next for them? Find out next when Penguins postgame wraps up in 2 segments time. Right after this. Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches.
I wonder if I could make it. It's almost getting to 8 o'clock p.m., and I am still a few more steps away from home to get to my computer to listen to SienaT Radio's Cosmopolitan Culture Club. The best of the best music from around the world. Can't wait. I think I made it. SienaT Radio, making your day brighter, one song at a time.
For the first time this season, since Tristan Jarry had an ugly start to his 2024-2025 campaign, he's finally won a hockey game in his start against Vancouver. Out of the many starts he's had since he went down to Wilkes-Barre after not having a good start to the 2024-2025 campaign. To the 2024-2025 campaign. Tonight he gets a W. So could that be a resemblance of, hey, Tristan Jarry might be finding his game? Well, this is certainly a step in the right direction, considering the fact that the Penguins were able to hang on to a 5-4 win. They were able to hang on to a 1-goal lead and make sure the Canucks did not force overtime in this game. Speaking of that, let's talk about how this game stepped up in the stats. And as I said, we're not going to go by period. So we're going to go, instead of that, by the totals. Well, the Penguins may have been outshot 29-23 in the shot total on shots on goal, but they were certainly the better team in the face-off dot in this game, winning 37 of 57 face-offs for a face-off percentage of 64.9%. 64.9% in the face-off dot tonight for the Penguins. The Penguins were doing really well. They won 37 of 57 faceoffs in the faceoff dot tonight for a faceoff percentage of 64.9%. And Vancouver, I don't know what you were doing in the faceoff circle, but you did, well, at least in my mind, I think this is a good faceoff percentage for the Canucks. I mean, it's not really a good faceoff percentage for the Vancouver Canucks, but hey, you got to win some faceoffs, otherwise the other team's going to probably shut you out. Even if you do win faceoffs, and they did win faceoffs in this game, they won 20 out of 57 for a faceoff percentage of 35.1% in the faceoff dot tonight. The penalty power play, we already went through that earlier on, but just a reminder, the Canucks 3 for 4 on the penalty kill, hence the Penguins 1 for 4 on the power play. The Penguins penalty kill, perfect 1 for 1. And the Canucks power play, 0 for 1 on the night. The Penguins only spent 12 minutes in the 2 minutes, I should say, in the penalty box. The penalty box, meanwhile, for the Canucks, 8 minutes in the penalty box for the Canucks. On 32 hits, 10 block shots for the Canucks, 12 giveaways, 4 takeaways. Now wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a dang second. Wait a dang second. You out-hit the Penguins 32-11, because that's what the Penguins finished with hits in. You outshot the Penguins, I should say, 29-23 in the shot total. They outblocked you 22-10 in the blocked shots category. But they gave the puck away. But the Penguins gave the puck away 17 times. They only took the puck away 2 more times than Vancouver. They took it away 6 times. Vancouver took it away 4 times. But they gave the puck away. The Canucks gave the puck away 12 times. Clearly, you didn't give the puck away that many times, but the Penguins, definitely something to clean up. You gave the puck away too many times. Maybe not enough, but you did what you had to do, even when you gave the puck away to Vancouver. You did what you had to do to make sure that we came away with a W. And when I say we came away with a dub, I'm talking about for Penguins fans. Penguins did everything they could to make sure that the Penguins came away with the W over Vancouver and avoided that sweep, which they did so tonight. Those are the game stats. Now it's time for the shake of the game, the play of the game, and 3 stars of the game. By the way, if you listen to it on the Penguins Radio Network, are brought to you by your neighborhood Ford stores. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And when I say your neighborhood Ford stores, I'm talking about the Pittsburgh neighborhood Ford stores. And the play of the game is also brought to you by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. We are not sponsored by any of those stations or any of those sponsors, but could be down the road. We'll see. We'll see. However, even though we're not sponsored by the Milkshake Factory, this next segment is inspired by a Milkshake Factory ad recently created for Brian Rust, but was brought to life by Jake Gensel. And I could get into that, but we would be here all night. And we're not here all night. I don't want to be here all night. So, with that being said, let's jump to it. And due to time constraints, we are just going to do a runner-up and a recipient. Let's start with the Vancouver Canucks. Tonight, that recipient is going to be none other than Quinn Hughes. A goal, 2 assists, 3 points, and the rest could pretty much speak for itself. The rest of the assists could pretty much speak for itself. I thought Quinn Hughes played really, really well. The rest of the stats for Quinn Hughes can pretty much tell you the rest of the story. The runner-up would be AS. The goaltender for the Canucks tonight, 18 saves on 23 shots. Gave up a goal on the power play, 5 goals at even strength. 4 goals, I should say, at even strength. 5 goals totaled. And even though his save percentage is not really good at .783, he still managed to play 57 minutes and 48 seconds. Now for our Penguins Shake of the Game recipient and runner-up. Tonight, the recipient is goaltender Tristan Jarry. It's going to be Tristan Jarry. Really like how Jarry played tonight. Did he have his best tonight despite giving up 4 goals in this game? No, I don't think so, but the Penguins were able to backstop him, or rather backstop the Canucks so that Jarry could get the win, and it was definitely a team effort. So they got the win, but Jarry, I think, deserves a lot of credit. Gave up 4 goals, made 25 saves on the 29 shots he faced. Played the entire 60 minutes of the game, and his save percentage, 862. 862. I mean, I guess that's a better save percentage than what AS for the Vancouver Canucks picked up. But for me, I feel like Jarry and AS could have really done better. I mean, in the end, the goals are what count. So, the goals are what count. So, I could be like that all day. The runner-up, even though Jari is the recipient of the shake of the game for the Penguins tonight, the runner-up, I mean, why not? Why not give it to Brian Rust? Why not? Why not give it to Brian Rust? Why not? Why not? The dude was on hat trick watch. I mean, he didn't exactly score the hat trick when it comes to goals, but another runner-up for the Penguins' shake of the game. Definitely scored the hat trick. When it came to assists, and that was Erik Karlsson. But Brian Rust, I'm going to give the runner-up to him. 2 goals, an assist, 3 points. And as I said with Quinn Hughes, the rest of the stats speak for themselves. So Quinn Hughes is the recipient of the shake of the game for Vancouver. Tristan Jarry, recipient of the shake of the game for Pittsburgh. The runners-up are a S for Vancouver and Brian Rust for the Penguins. That brings us to the end of the program. But before we wrap it up, we got to talk about what's next for Pittsburgh and what's next for Vancouver. Let's start with what's next for Vancouver as they split their back-to-back, playing on Tuesday and Wednesday night. They shut out Boston on Tuesday night. Were held off by the Penguins, so the Penguins could end a 3-game skid. And that's what the Penguins got done tonight. Next, for the Canucks, will be a showdown in Buffalo on Friday night, a 3 p.m. showdown in Buffalo on Friday afternoon, rather, not Friday night, after Friday afternoon, as they will take on the Buffalo Sabres on Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, as their road trip of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games continue. After their game on Friday, they'll have Saturday off and take on the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. They'll take on the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit on Sunday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern from Little Caesars Arena on December 1st. Their road trip will wrap up in Minnesota on December 3rd, when they play the Wild in St. Paul, Minnesota. And then from Buffalo to Detroit to Minnesota, the Canucks will be home for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games at home, including the Columbus Blue Jackets on Friday night, the first Friday night in December, on December 6th, 2024. When the Jackets are in town, then they will go head to head with the Tampa Bay Lightning in town on December 8th, which is a Sunday, at 4 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, so from Buffalo to Detroit to Minnesota to hosting Columbus on December the 6th, and then hosting Tampa Bay on the second Sunday in December, excuse me, not November. We're headed into December. We're at the end of November. Scott, focus. So, Buffalo on Friday night. Detroit, Sunday afternoon. Excuse me. Buffalo, Friday afternoon. Detroit, Sunday afternoon. Minnesota, Tuesday night. Columbus, Friday night. And Tampa Bay, late Friday evening. I should say early Friday evening, late Friday afternoon. On Sunday. So you've got a game this Friday night, a game next Friday night, a game this Sunday afternoon, which is December 1st, a game next Tuesday night, December the 3rd, and a game next Sunday against Tampa Bay at 4 p.m. Eastern. Alrighty. How about our Pens? What's next for the black and gold? I'm going to do so via the Pittsburgh Penguins app. If you don't have the app yet, Penguin fans, I can't imagine why you don't have it. But if you do have it, great. If not, I kindly would suggest you go out and get it so that you can follow all the action right from the get-go all season long for the Penguins. The Penguins will start off their next 5 with a back-to-back, showcasing their action in Boston, and I will be back with you for that game. Following the game from TD Garden, I will also be back with you for the game on Hockey Night in Canada when the Flames are in town to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Game time for the Boston Bruins is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday. On PWHL. Opening day, I should say. I'll be with you after the Pens and the Flames in Pittsburgh. And then I'll take a quick few days off. Thomas will have you for Penguins and Panthers when the Pens play the Panthers after 2 nights off. When the Penguins will play the Panthers on the Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Thomas will have you for that game. When the Pens play the Panthers in Pittsburgh, that's following the Flames game. And then a back-to-back, the only back-to-back, unless you count the home and home series, later in the month of December. Against the New York Islanders. A back-to-back early in the month of December will feature the Penguins looking for revenge against their division rivals in the New York Rangers. The Rangers will battle the Pens on Friday, December 6th, 2024. Thomas will get you ready for that game. Actually, he's going to get you ready for the game before that. And that's going to be before he takes over on the post-game side for the Panthers and the Pens. I'll be back with you after the Pens and the Rangers. And then the moment we've all been waiting for if we're Penguin fans and Toronto Maple Leaf fans. It's time for the first time this season and only time in the 2024 portion of the 2024-2025 season. The Toronto Maple Leafs will make their trip to Pittsburgh. All right. So, at Boston this Friday night, I'm back with you for that game. Then the Penguins will battle the Calgary Flames for the final time this season on Saturday night. They are home to the Panthers on Tuesday evening, at the New York Rangers on Friday, December 6th, 2024, which is next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. And then the Maple Leafs are in town on December 7th, the following night, the Saturday night. So yet another hockey night in Canada for the Pens, following this Saturday night. And wouldn't you know it? It's the Pens and the Maple Leaf. All right. Well, my friends, it's been a night. It's been a heck of a night. It's been a heck of a day for me. I recorded a weekly in sports end of the month program that should drop tomorrow, probably before this one drops. Penguin fans, happy Thanksgiving to all of you who checked out this game. Happy Thanksgiving to all American listeners here on Sports for Beginners, especially those in Pittsburgh and wherever you may be. Happy holidays everywhere else. And I look forward to catching up with you again after Thanksgiving in America for the Pens and the Bruins. Pens and the Bruins next time on Penguins Postgame. But for right now, my name is Scott McGregor, saying thank you so much for joining us here today on the podcast. Would love it if you took a second to rate, review, and share the podcast. Let's go, Pens! And I look forward to catching up with you again. Real soon. Pens win it 5-4 over the Vancouver Canucks. Off to Boston we go. And that is our next Penguins postgame. Good night, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. You've just listened to Pittsburgh Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners or visit the official Sports for Beginners podcast website. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay tuned. And remember that it is not goodbye, it is until next time. And you'd have to be here to believe it. Thank you so much for checking in to Penguins postgame this season, Penguins fans. Your host of the Sports for Beginners podcast, Scott McGregor, here. I just wanted to let you guys know that it brings me great joy to bring you a show like the one we brought you last year, and it brings me even more joy with everything that has come out of it as well. As we try to navigate through quite a year with milestone after milestone in the month of October and the month of September. As mentioned again, my name is Scott McGregor, but if you have any questions, any concerns, any content you want aired on the program, please send me an email at sportsforbeginnerspodcast 8231 at gmail.com. Once again, that's Sports for Beginners podcast 8231 at gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast and for listening to this episode of Penguins Postgame. We will see you next time right here on Sports for Beginners. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.